Hey guys, Chad here at the Vox DEI Snake Pit Technical Support and Training Team. Today we're going to take a look at a brand new tool on directtext.com, so let's jump on the computer here and take a peek. All right guys, here we are at the computer. I'm logged into DirectText DT and I'm super excited to talk to you guys about a tool that we've been working on in the background for a little while now. For years, we've had a transmitter reference tool here on the site, but we saw some areas where we could add some functionality and make it easier for you guys to not only find the remote that you needed for a system, but also cross-reference any compatible remotes. So let's take a look at our new transmitter lookup tool. So to access the tool, first we're going to hover over our resources drop-down menu. If you aren't familiar here, you're going to find all sorts of useful information like product guides, tech tips, and of course, our new transmitter lookup tool. And here we are. For those of you that have used the old tool in the past, you should immediately notice some new search fields. Taking calls from you guys, we've noticed that a lot of times when you're looking for a replacement remote, the information that you might have on hand can be limited. The owner may come in with a remote where the information on the back is worn off. Maybe they don't have a remote at all. Maybe they have a part number on a module installed in the vehicle. You just need a new antenna. With the new search options, you can easily find the correct antenna and remote for the system and cross-reference any potential remotes that may be compatible. So let's start here with our model number search. Here you're going to enter the model number of a kit or module installed in the vehicle. A kit would be something like, let's say, a 5706 or a 3305. Basically a bundled package that you'd sell to a customer. The module would be the number, which is the one on the brain of the system itself. So for instance, you get up underneath the dash, you see a black box. It's got a 5X06 or a 3X05 on it. And you can use that information to cross-reference here as well. So let's go ahead and say a customer comes in. We didn't do the installation. They had it done a few years ago at a different shop. They've moved. They don't have any paperwork to tell us what system's installed. We can simply take a quick peek up underneath the dash, find the module, and search it here. So let's go ahead and say the customer comes in and we get up underneath the dash. We see that they've got a 5X06. And we search. Here we go. Once you're here, you're going to see some basic identifiers, your brand, model number of the kit. Again, a kit is the packaged bundle. We have part number. On some of our older kits, this can differ from the model number of the package versus the model number of the actual brain in the vehicle itself. So we want to make sure that we covered all of our bases here when searching. You also see that we have date code. This is helpful where there may have been a change in the kit, like a remote upgrade or the antenna was replaced. You also notice that we added current draw where available. So if we have the information for the module, we'll go ahead and list that there for you. This way you guys have a rough idea of what you should be looking at if you're doing a current draw test. They're listed in standby and arm state. So for instance, if we look here, we have a Clifford Matrix 5906X. Its standby current draw is right around 15 milliamps and its arm state is right around 25. Module, we talked about this earlier. That's the model number or module part number of the actual module you'd find up underneath the dash. You'll see we have original transmitters here. Those are the original transmitters that came in the kit itself, so in the bundled package. Currently here we're listing alternate transmitters. I think as this tool evolves, you may see that change to something like additional notes or something similar. This will give us a little more freedom of the information that we can provide there that may be helpful for you. And lastly, you'll see the antenna, which came within the kit. If you notice, transmitters and antenna are blue. These are clickable links, and they'll take us to a landing page for a specific item. So let's take a look at let's say a 7756X. All right, here we are, and you'll see the product information page, landing page for your 7756X. Notice we have a picture of the remote, so you guys can reference a remote in hand or show a customer, etc. We also have quite a bit of information about the transmitter itself. Obviously, we list brand, the type of communication it supports, whether it's one-way or two-way, what type of RF the transmitter works with. We'll kind of double back on that a little bit later. what frequency the transmitter works with. This can be important on some of our older models where compatibility can be based on the frequency. We also have the antennas that the transmitter is compatible with, what battery the transmitter takes, and lastly, the FCC ID. You're also going to notice that we have the UPC of the product shown here. We listed under the model number. This way you guys have the UPC in case you need to place an order with your rep or distributor for a replacement remote. You'll have it there, really easy to access for it. You also see some additional tabs at the top of the page here. Clicking on the programming tab, you're going to notice that it takes us to a page where we've got some clickable links for the programming instructions based on whatever system you're trying to program to. So, for instance, if we're looking up this remote, the customer we spoke about, looking up the remote for the customer we spoke about earlier, we determined that this is the remote for the system. We've got one on hand. It's a 5706, which is an analog system. We'd go ahead and click here. And there you have it. There's your programming instructions. If it was a DSX platform, so DS4 or DS3, you would go ahead and click here. Next, we have the Related Products tab. This is where we start digging a little bit deeper into cross-compatibility for transmitters across other brands. So here you'll find remotes across our lineup that share the same FCC ID. These are essentially the exact same remote with a different case on it. The actual PCB of these remotes are identical. So in this instance, if a 7756X is not available, any of these remotes here will get your customer out the door. So let's go back to the main transmitter lookup page and take a look at a few of the other features. Let's go ahead and clear out our search. And let's take a look at a different scenario. So maybe the customer comes in, they've got a remote in their hand, but the model number on the back of the remote, it may be listed as model number or RPN. It's not readable. However, the FCC ID is visible. And in this case, we've got an FCC ID of, let's say, EZSDEI 7656. There we go. Here again, we list all the transmitters that share an FCC ID. Again, these are clickable. They'll take you to a product page. In this case, we'll look at an ASDS 1554. Let's go back to the main page again. All right, so what about an easy one? Customer calls and says, hey, I've got an AstroStart, let's say 2615 DTX. Looking to see if you guys have a replacement remote for this. You're not an Astro dealer. You've never heard of that remote before. Not a problem. Just type that model number here in the search bar. So clear this out. And we're looking for a 2615D-TX. And there you go. So we can click on the actual remote itself. At this point, we can just go ahead and click on the Related Products tab. And now you can let the customer know, hey, we're not an Astro dealer, but I do have a Clifford 7656X remote here in stock. It'll work as a direct replacement. Pretty easy. Get your customer out the door. Let's go back here and take a look at the antenna search field. Now, this is probably the coolest part of the tool because it's able to cross-reference a number of things. Again, you can get to it from here, from any of the landing pages if you've got a remote in hand or you've got a module ID, or let's say you've got a customer that comes in and instead of jumping up underneath the dash, it may be easier for you to go ahead and pop the antenna off the windshield, pull the mounting tape off. That may end up being quicker and easier than having to hunt for a module under a dash. So we go ahead and pop the antenna off the windshield. We take a look at the model number and we find out we've got a 6826T. We'll search it here. We'll go ahead and click on it here. And now what we've got are a couple little tabs up here. Again, see some information similar to like what we've got on our transmitter information page. So you got a picture of the antenna, UPC for ordering. Antenna type is going to let you know whether or not this is an analog antenna, or in the case of like say our DSX platform, which we use a digital 2.0 D2D 2.0 communication, this would note it as a digital antenna. Again, you'll notice RF type, which is what style and we use, NGRF SST, keylock SST, or keylock, whatever it is. And you also notice what style antenna cable the antenna utilizes. So in this case, it's a 6-pin 6-wire. However, you may see, say, a 4-pin 3-wire cable or a 4-pin 4-wire, etc. Here we have also notice we've got the mounting position. Most of our antennas generally are going to be vertical. However, there are some exceptions. Some people don't realize that antennas are technically directional. So we place that information there for the instances where some of our older antennas may be a horizontal mounting. Some of the old SST antennas that have the two antennas on the side, those would be mounted horizontal, not vertical. And then we also list this there for anything in the future. Communication, this is going to list whether or not the antenna supports one-way only communication or two-way. Again, the tool is ever evolving, so this is being updated. You'll see that information listed there. And back at the top, I kind of got ahead of myself there earlier. At the top here, you're going to notice we've got Remotes tab and a Kits tab. Let's hop over here to the Kits tab. You'll notice here, this is every single kit that the antenna was packaged with. Similar to what you'd see there on that main page when you search, but in a nice little tidy table. Lastly, we have the Remotes tab, and this is kind of where this tool really becomes cool. When we click here, it's going to list every remote that's associated to this antenna. So this is kind of a quick and easy way to sort through which remotes are guaranteed to work with that antenna. So you can sort through what you have in stock, see if you have something on hand, so you don't have to, order something in. If you've got something on hand, you can get the customer taken care of. Otherwise, if we click on the remote, again, you're going to have your information here to take a look at. A couple different ones to look at. Again, UPC is listed there for you to order. And that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is a tool that we've put a lot of work into. It was a monster of a project. We really hope you guys get some good mileage out of it. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. Our brand new remote lookup tool on directtext.com. We hope you guys find it as useful of a tool as we do. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, feedback, technical support questions, anything, our number's listed at the bottom of directtext.com. Feel free to give us a call. Have a great day, guys.